Well, today on the show, we're going to talk about Vegas. Yeah, Vegas, Las Vegas. The casinos, the sports books, where they think Alabama is going to finish next year. Well, at least the win total over under for the season. And is it any different than last year? We're going to talk about one of Alabama's biggest targets, in-state running back Ezavier Crowell out of Jackson. This is a guy they definitely want to get. He's announced visit dates in his final 6. Good news for Alabama on both of those fronts. And some more right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Great to see all of you guys today. Thank you for being here. Let's get this party started. Roll Tide. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you for being here and hanging out. All right, let's get into a couple of things. I know you want to hear about the recruiting. We're going to get into that. But first, let's talk about Alabama football. Kalen DeBoer's second season, bringing back Ryan Grubb, the Crimson Tide with a very difficult schedule. They got to play some tough non-conference games. Florida State on the road, Wisconsin at home. How about playing at Georgia? How about Auburn on the road? How about LSU at home, which is always tough for Alabama for some reason? Look, you look at the schedule. Even the easy games are tough, right? South Carolina's a tough game. Missouri's a tough game, but it's the SEC. Oh, yeah, and Vandy, who beat Alabama last year. And for whatever reason, Diego Pavida is like the best quarterback ever against Alabama and Auburn. So there you go. That sets up the table right here. AL.com, one of my favorite reads, put this list out, and it's like the Vegas sports books and where they think Alabama is. How about BetMGM 8.5, the over-under for Bama? That means if Bama wins 9 games, you win. Now think about that. They won 9 games this year, and they finished the season backpedaling. DraftKings, FanDuel, Bet365 all said 9.5. How about the odds there for the Crimson Tide? I know Bama does have some, a tough schedule. We talked about that before, and it is what it is, right? But the other part of it is that, and they put this in the story, no other SEC team has a win total higher than 9.5. So they got 9.5 for Alabama. Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, right? LSU and Ole Miss, 8.5. And so a lot of it comes down to this. Nick Saban is no longer the Alabama head coach. You can't go out and pencil the games in that you're going to win because of the teams that aren't good. Like, he beat all the bad teams. Well, DeBoer's proved that he doesn't beat the bad teams. And the team that he has needs to be more disciplined. They can't lose games to bad Oklahoma and Michigan and Vanderbilt's, but they did win some impressive games. Went down to LSU and beat them, beat Georgia. It was a top-ranked team, right? So the conference is tough. It's going to be tougher next year. I think this year the teams beat up on each other, and I think that's why you're not looking at this going, hey, you figure Texas is going to be good. They lost some players in the draft, a lot of players over the last couple of years. Georgia wasn't that good last year. They got a new quarterback coming in, a new system. Bama's got a new quarterback. The teams that used to be, and I don't want to ever say the SEC had bad teams, but the teams that you were supposed to beat in the past have gotten better. And I think that's why 9.5 actually is a respectable win-loss total. And I'll take Bama at 8.5 because I'll take the over on that. I know that it's going to be a tough season because it always is a tough season. But I think with Ryan Grubb as the OC and also Ryan Grubb's DNA there. Loved him in the press conference. We played it yesterday. Kalen DeBoer is a great guy, and he's got his style, but you got to have that, it's like the yin yang, the white and the black thing, and they go together, that's like a Chinese symbol or whatever. Maybe it's Japanese. Who knows? You know what I'm talking about. They fit each other like that. And you can tell that Grubb's a lot more like a Saban type guy. Hey, what about A.K. Deere? Got a lot of work to do. What about Michael Carroll? Love him. Not a lot of work to do. Like he's not playing the favorites. He's going out there and telling you basically that you got to earn your way. He seems to be a little more gruff. I think that it's worked everywhere else, and he joins the team this year. I think it's going to really benefit the Alabama Crimson Tide. So that's good news. Now, what's also good news, and this guy does a tremendous job working for On3. His name is Hayes Fawcett. Never met him before, but his work's really good. And on Twitter, he's kind of that guy that's going to let you know what's going on. Now, Ezavier Crowell's the running back out of Jackson. He reclassified. Remember, he reclassified, which means that he was supposed to be in the class of 27, but like Ryan Williams, he scooted it up. He wants to get to college a year earlier, and now he's in the class of 26. He was the number 1 running back in the country in 27. Now, according to On3, he's the number 2 running back in next year's class, and he has limited his list of schools down to Bama, Florida State, Texas, Georgia, Auburn, and Ohio State. Now, this one feels a lot like an Alabama versus Auburn matchup. He's made a bunch of visits to Tuscaloosa when Nick Saban was there, and he's made visits to Tuscaloosa now that it's Kalen DeBoer and his staff. And this is a priority player for the DeBoer staff. This is a guy that you really have to get. He was in Tuscaloosa February 1st for Junior Day. You circle this guy. You want to get this guy. All the publications have him as either the number 1 or number 2 player in the state of Alabama. He is coming back to Alabama as On3 announced June 20th to 22nd to make his visit there. He's also got dates at Georgia, Texas, Auburn, and Florida. And so this is, you're talking about a 4-star right now. You're talking about a guy that has been just tremendous, almost 2,000 yards rushing and 31 touchdowns, won the 4-8 state championship in Alabama. And so this is a player that Alabama has targeted, like I said, since the beginning. So Robert Gillespie working hard here. Kalen DeBoer, I'm sure Ryan Grubb has already made contact. They're going to be talking to this guy. They're going to be showing up to his games. You drive past his town, and there's that billboard with all the little churches on it. Man, I go through there all the time. This is a guy we got to get. And good news for Alabama. He's in the top 6, which I figured they would be, and also has set another date. But he's getting looks from everywhere and everybody because he's that impressive, right? Which is pretty cool. Now, Bama just continues to do their thing, right? I mean, just out there trying to add to this recruiting class. And one of the guys that they're trying to get is, look, there's a ton of guys that they're trying to get right now. But one guy that's a really good target for Alabama and that is someone that they could get really soon is Zyon Guiles, who is a class of 26, and he has set his announcement date for March 21st, and Bama is in the final 7, according to Hayes Fawcett. So it's another time. And you look on there, and it's constant. Bama is still in the mix for a lot of these players, but it's all about nailing down these guys and making sure that you win some of these battles, because so far, it's early, but it feels like Bama could use a couple big commits to build class momentum. A lot of the guys in the industry think Zion's a South Carolina Clemson battle, but Bama in that final 7, trying to push. They've done so well on the offensive line front, and someone to keep an eye on as he's announced his date. And the one thing that I can tell you in the NIL era of recruiting, you can't really figure out where a guy's going to end up until they decide that they're going to tell you where they're going to end up. So if this is someone that you really want, you can go out there and make those things happen. But some other schools involved in this outside of Clemson and South Carolina, Tennessee's been there, visit Gators, Georgia, and Florida State. So it seems like, Florida State, Bama, in a lot of these, Clemson and South Carolina trying to get this guy. and we'll keep an eye on Zyon as well and where he ends up. But it seems like a really good kid, and Bama's in that final group. Now, a couple things to talk about. NFL former Bama players, defensive tackle Raekwon Davis, who had signed a 2-year, $14 million contract with the Indianapolis Colts, was released. That was actually yesterday. It was released, and now he's a free agent. The NFL is so different than college because of the fact that you sign these contracts, but they're not guaranteed. So you feel good about 2-year, $14 million, and then all of a sudden you're released. But he'll latch on with somebody else. We wish him the best of luck. And then Blake Sims, former Bama quarterback. But remember, he was the Swiss Army knife, right? He was like a quarterback that was really a running back, but could also play wide receivers. Well, he's going to coach with Scott Cochran over at West Alabama. So congratulations for him. And I think he's working wide receivers as far as the coaching goes. And what a great honor. He was on a movie, right? He's a pretty good life. All right, guys, that does it for the show today. Again, thank you so much for being part of our show. Yesterday I got a message, and one of you guys was like, hey, wait a second, Mick. I was going to pimp out my man cave, and I tried to use the New Life Art discount code, and that is Bama Tailgate at New Life Art. Boom, for that right there. So you can go one of two ways, 25% off. And that's Jalen Hurts running it in against Georgia. And you Eagles, Bama fans, you need this, right? The Crimson Redemption or Devontae Smith, Heisman Heights. And it didn't work. And so what did we do? We made it work again. We fixed it. So if that happened to any of you guys, let me know. Also, we are going to start. I've got a pile of Nick Saban New Life Art calendars that I'm going to start giving away to you guys as well, and some brand new Bama Tailgate show hats. And the way you get those and the way you qualify is you got to like the video, you've got to make sure that you're a subscriber, and you've got to make sure that you comment on a daily basis. The hats are fantastic. The calendars are awesome. And we're going to just start picking winners randomly of you guys. So I wanted to do something where we connect with the audience, where you guys get involved. And so why not give away some cool stuff? So like, subscribe, comment. It's going to be one of those random things. Once we get this going, we'll have other ways to win. But take advantage of that right there. NewLifeArt.com, 25% off Bama Tailgate. You got to put the Bama Tailgate in the promo code at the end. And if something happens, it doesn't work, let me know. We'll get it fixed. But I know it's up and running again right now, so I apologize for that. And then finally, tough day yesterday. I know we kind of talked about it on the show, but we lost our great friend Ryan Griffin, who's been a part of the Tailgate show since the very beginning. And thank you guys for the condolences. Love Rhino, man. And he's been part of the Tailgate show since we started, right? At Pearl River Resort fan, big college football fan. Like his kids at his funeral told me, yeah, Dad liked all the teams, right? He was never really like he always acted like he was an Ole Miss fan, but then he was a State fan, and then he was a Southern Miss fan, and then he was a Bama fan. He was awesome. We miss him so much. There's a picture of us after one of the shows with Matt Perkins, who's next to him, Jay Coker, and me. But a great funeral in Laurel, Mississippi. And man, I'll tell you what, we love them so much, and we just appreciate those guys, and they've become family to us. And you guys take advantage of Pearl River. You need to get away for a weekend. Table games and slots at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino. They've got the sports book, the Timeout Sports Lounge, where you can, 20 big screen TVs, a bar. You got the kiosk if you need some help. You got the individual stations where you can place bets, and we'll be doing the show there when they announce March Madness. Bo Bounds, who's a great Mississippi broadcaster, is going to join me here. We're going to do our on Sunday, Selection Sunday. We're going to do our selection show. We're going to put the bracket up, talk about it, break it down for you guys, and have a lot of fun doing it. Maybe have a couple beers. But yeah. So take it, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. It's the Augusta you can play with the Azaleas and the Oaks. Philip M. Steakhouse over there. I know my buddy Wes loves Philip M's. They got the spa, all that stuff, Pearl River Resort. So we appreciate them. And most importantly, thank you guys for all the letters and the notes that you've sent me. It has been a tough week. Ryan Griffin was not just part of the Pearl River family, he's part of our family too. And at 47 years old, it's wow, just kind of you realize that life is short. And I'll tell you this, man, enjoy every day. Tell the people you love that you love them, and be glad that you woke up and you got another day above the ground, because nothing's guaranteed in this life. And we've had, look, I mean, how crazy is it? We lost Rhino, we lost Big Sexy, and it's been since October, so it's a heavy weight because, friends are hard to come by in this world. But I appreciate all of you guys. I love you. Thank you for being here, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Roll Tide.
To Pearl River Resort.